In this video, we're going to create this super simple slider together. Now, I'm not going to make it very complicated. We're going to make it easy and we're going to make it quick. If you enjoyed my content, please hit the subscribe button to support me. Let's go. All right, guys, let's create our HTML snippets. And first things first, let's set the title. I choose slider. You can choose a different title if you'd like. Let's add our CSS file to the head section of the HTML document. Now, for the icons, we're going to use Font Awesome. To add it, just search for Font Awesome CDN.js and click the link from cdnjs.com. Then copy the tag and paste it into the head section of your HTML file. That's it. Your icons are ready to go. All right, now let's go for Roboto-Fonts. We're going to bring it from Google. Type Roboto-Fonts here, open the link, and let's click on Get Font and Get Embed Font, and here copy the link. Then paste it right here under Roboto-Font. That's it. Okay, now let's go for the main task, which is actually Swiper.js.com. Let's open Swiper.js.com, go to demos, and on the left side of the website, you're going to see the slider per view. And this is the type of slider we're going to create. And here, let's click on core. And the code that you see is what we actually are going to use in our project. All right, now let's copy this CSS link of Swiper.js. We need it for styling. Let's copy it and let's go to our project. Here inside the head tag, we're gonna paste it up above the CSS link. Swiper CSS. Now, up above the ending body tag, we have a script tag, and actually the first script tag here, we're going to copy both of them and we're going to bring them right down to the HTML code up above the ending body tag. And let's test our HTML document. I'm going to create an H1 Swiper.js slider. Now, as you can see, our website is live. I'm using actually the live server. So let's go for the style, and inside the style tag, I'm going to copy everything I see, all the CSS styling, and let's paste them inside our CSS file. Now, if I check the project, the background is black. So let's go for the final section. Inside the body tag, we have a swiper, this div. Let's copy the whole thing from Swiper, my Swiper, and let's bring them inside. Well, let's erase this H1. Inside the body tag, we're going to bring them all. Now, if I go to my project, you can see that these slides are here, exactly the same that we saw in the website. This looks exactly like the demo. You can use these paginations to slide around. So everything is working now. So let's erase all of these extra slides from slide number 2 to slide number 9. And we need just one slide because we are going to get to designing. And at this script, you're going to change the slide per view from 3 to 1 because we want to see just one slide at a time. And we wanted to see it full screen. So let's comment out here slide number 1, and let's start designing our slide. Pretty simple. I'm gonna start with a div with a class of post image. Inside that, we're gonna put an image tag, and we're gonna load the image from our folder, image number 1. So under the post image, I'm going to create a div with post box, and let's create a comment details. This is going to be the post details div with the class of post details. Inside that, we're going to put an H1. We're going to call it amazing graphic design. They're just mock data. A paragraph with lorem ipsum 25. I'm going to put 3 dots, an A tag, And inside a tag, I'm going to write read more because this is going to be the read more button. Now this has a very ugly look. We're going to change that. Let's go to style.css. And we have, what do we have here? We have your Swiper slide. Okay. Let's erase everything inside Swiper slide. Perfect. And let's erase HTML and body designing at the top of the CSS. And instead of that, we're going to put asterisk, margin 0, padding 0, and the box sizing is going to be border box. And the font family is going to be Roboto. All right. Looks better. Now inside the body tag, let's erase the background, I guess. Where do we start? Yeah, we're gonna just change the background. And inside the Swiper slide, I'm gonna say the background color should be white, FFF. Hashtag FFF means white. So the color, we need to erase that. Actually, erase everything except background for the body tag. So now under the post details, let's create another div. This is going to be our post info, a div with class of post info. Inside that, we're going to create a profile section, div with the class of profile. The image, I'm going to use it from the users, pick number 1, which is actually a fake picture. Now we create a div with the class of writer-date and a span inside it with the class of writer. We're going to call it Jill Doe, the name of the writer. And the span with the class of date, let's put August 11th, 2025. This is the date of the post, for example. And under the post info, we're going to create a BTNs div with a class of BTNs. Inside that, we're going to create a button. Now I'm going to bring 2 icons from Font Awesome. You can either copy them or you can simply, you don't have to, you can just create an I tag like I do right here and then put a class inside that. And in the class, you write far-heart, which is the icon for heart. And a button's icon and the class with far-bookmark, which is the icon for bookmark. So all you have to do is to create an I tag, put a class inside that, and type out what I typed. So simple to bring icons from Font Awesome. Very good. Now let's comment. This was the profile, and this was the BTNs. With commenting, we can just have a cleaner code. Now inside the body, we're gonna give it a padding of 150 pixels and 8% from left and right, 150 pixels from top and bottom. So our content is centralized. And now let's go for Swiper slide, Swiper image, and image. We're gonna just have a little bit of, let's erase this one. So in order, we say Swiper slide, and the next one was post image. Let's get that. Post image and image. So the width is going to be 100% and height 200 pixels. We're going to give it an object fit of cover and object position of center. So now you can see that the picture is centralized. Now let's go for post box and post details. We're going to style that post box and post details. So let's go for H1. We're going to give it a font size of 25 pixels and a font weight of 900, which is actually the black size. And then let's go for the post box, post details P tag, which is this one. Let's give it a font size of 15 pixels and a line height of 1.7. The letter spacing is gonna be 1 pixel. Looks more beautiful now. All right, now let's copy the whole thing here. Post box, post details P, and then let's bring the A tag, which is actually inside the p tag, so it makes sense. And then let's say the color is going to be hashtag 333, which is actually dark gray. And then on hover, we're going to give it a color of 4D26F9, which is blue. All right, I think this is the time to style the image. It's actually the profile section, the post info section. So let's go for the post-info and profile image. So width is going to be 60 pixels and height is going to be 60 pixels. And let's give it a border radius of 50%, so it's circle. Now let's go for the post info, and the display is going to be flex. Very good. And justify content is going to be center, and align items should be as well center, and the gap's going to be 12 pixels. Now I made a small mistake. I actually want a full space between these two blocks, the profile picture and buttons. In order to do that, I should have used space between for justify content instead of center. So let's fix it right away. Perfect. Now, as you can see, the profile picture is located on the left and buttons are on the right, which is what I wanted to. All right, now let's go for the profile picture because we have work to do with this. Now let's go for the post info, post-info.profile, and the display should be flex, but the justify content should be center and the other items should be center as well. The gap should be 12 pixels, you can see. Now, let's go back to the HTML. Here we have a writer-date, as you can see. So we should actually write the writer-date and display flex. Flex direction is going to be column because I want them added actually to be a column. And then the writer alone should have a font size of 15 pixels and the letter spacing should be 1 pixel. For the date, I'm going to give it a font size of 14 pixels and a color of gray. Perfect. Now let's go for buttons. Pretty much easy to style. BTNs, display flex, and justify content center. And the align item is going to be center as well. We're going to give it a gap of 8 pixels. And the button should have a background color of transparent, a border of none. Let's give it a font size of 20 pixels. And well, the cursor should be pointer. And the transition is going to be all ease in out. And 2 milliseconds is going to be enough. Very good. Now we have everything we needed. BTN's button, hover, transform, scale, 1.05. And why do I use this transition? Because it gives the buttons hover a smooth effect. So if I remove it, you can see there's no effect. Now let's deal with the whole content of our post. The first thing we need to do is to give this part, which I'm marking, a padding, because they are just stick to the edge of the box. So we need a padding from the fourth side of the boxes, and we actually I actually want to give a border radius to the whole package, to the whole from the picture, from top of the picture to bottom of the content. So this part that I'm actually marking orange, this is actually the post box, and we're going to give it a padding. All right, so let's go to let's write here the post dash box, and let's give it a padding of 20 pixels from top and bottom and 25 pixels from left and right. Okay, it looks better. Now let's go for the p tag is going to have a margin bottom of 10 pixels. So there's a space under the p tag, 15 pixels better. All right, now let's go for the swiper slide. Let's give it a display of flex and a flex direction of column and a border radius of 12 pixels. So as you can see, there's a border radius and a border of 1 pixel solid black. I want to give it a border because I want you to see what we are doing actually here. As you can see at the image, the left and right top of the image, there is no border radius because the image does not have any border radius. So let's give the image a border radius. Now the problem is solved, but the problem is actually at the bottom of the image, we have border radius as well, and we don't want that. Now we should fix the problem. Instead of border radius 12 pixel, we can say border radius 12 pixels 0, 0. And why we do that? Because if you give it 4 numbers, you are able to give each corner its specific size. It goes like a clock from left to right. The first number is top left, the second is top right, the third is bottom right, and the fourth is bottom left. Okay, now let's erase this border because we don't need it anymore. But instead of that, we're gonna give our box a border bottom 1 pixel solid and B6 is gonna be the color. Very good. Okay, our next move should be, I think the slider is pretty much done. Our slide is ready, the styling of slide is ready. Now if I make my screen bigger, you can see that this slide gets the whole page because we actually determined that we should have 1 slide at a time here. Okay, before I put 3 slides on the page, let's add more slides here. So let's take a look at this div with a class of slide number 1. I'm going to close it so we can see it better. I'm going to copy it. And now you can see I have 2 slides. This slider shows 1 slide at a time. I'm going to change the comment to slide number 2. And first, let's change the image from posts and new album. Very good. Now let's change the title. These are just mock data and a new album released. It doesn't matter what I actually write. You can write anything you like. And the picture should be picture number 2 from the users. So it's a boy. So instead of Jill Doe, let's say John Doe. And the date should be August 12, 25. Now we're going to continue doing that. Let's close this slide number 2. Let's copy the whole thing. And let's paste and change the slide 2 to a slide 3. Now the picture should be Paris, the title, Paris in winter, and the picture should be picture number 3. Let's check if it's a boy or a girl. It's a girl, so let's write a girl's name. I don't know, Mariam Ahmadi, it's a Persian name. September 5th, 2025. Now this is the 3rd slide. Let's copy this again and let's name it slide number 4. The 4th picture is the samurai, and let's write what is Bushido. And then the picture should be picture number 4, user number 4 actually, which is a girl again. So let's write Sarina Smith. I don't know. These are just mock data. They don't matter. Now let's go for the slide number 5. Now slide number 5 is gonna have a different image. After samurai we have star. Yeah. Have you played this? For example, this is a game. And Dave Matthew is going to be the name of the writer. And it's going to be the 15th of September. Check the 5th slide. Dave Matthew. Oh, sorry, I should change the picture. I didn't choose the 5th picture. This is a boy. Now let's go for the 6th slide, which is actually the picture of Tron, which is again a game. New, I don't know, in the movies. And let's choose picture number 6. All right. Now let's say Jane Reese. Jane Reese is the writer. Oh, sorry, I should change the number of slides. This is slide number 6. Slide number 7. Now let's go for the picture of Tron. And I'm out of ideas. Gaming is, I don't know, addiction to this game. I don't know. Game addiction, for example. And sometimes even mock data is hard to choose. Dave Austin. And the October 5th, 2025. Now let's go for slide number 8. Slide number 8. You should have the picture of Windows 12. And the name is going to be new features of Windows. And well, writer should be Thomas Johnson. I'm going to change the date 15th. And this was the 8th slide. Now let's check the last slide. Oh, I didn't change the profile picture. So let's change it from 7 to 8. Now let's start changing our slider options, change the number of slides per view, and then we make more changes to our slider. If you remember, we actually changed this slides per view to 1. Now we change it back to 3. Now as you can see, we have 3 sliders at a time. Now this looks like exactly like the demo. You can simply move the slider. You can use this pagination at the bottom to move the slider, and it works completely. It works actually perfectly. Now there are some more changes we can make to our slider. These changes I'm talking about are small changes such as looping the slider, or should the slider move automatically, what we need to do to make it responsive, or do we need the pagination or not, and so on. Using the adjustments in script at the bottom of body tag, you can pretty much do anything you like to this slider. Alright, let's start with autoplay, which is an option to make the slider move automatically. And 5000 milliseconds means 5 seconds. And disable on interaction means that if the user moves the slider, should the slider stop moving, we set it to false so it doesn't stop. Now you can see that the slider moves every 5 seconds. Let me change 5000 milliseconds to 2000, so it moves every 2 seconds, so you can see how it actually works. And we don't waste time. Now, can you see if I do any interaction on the slider does not stop moving. Can you see that? Perfect. Now, if I change this disable on interaction to true, now check, it's moving, but if I just do any interaction, it stops sliding. So this is what we need disabled on interaction for. So I'm going to change it back to false, and I'm going to change it to 4000 milliseconds. So every 4 seconds, his slider is going to move. Now I would like to remove this pagination. I mean, it doesn't matter. It is just an option. You can do it. You can just let it be. But I would like to remove the pagination. Now, without the pagination, the only option you have is to move the slider with your mouse. I'm going to change the cursor of slide to pointer. Cursor. Sorry. Cursor grab. So now, as you can see, it has the icon of grabbing, but if you go on the link, it's the icon of clicking, pointer actually. So now, as you can see, the slider cannot loop itself. So when you go to the ending slide, it's over, and then the slide goes back to the first one. If you want the slide to loop and never ends, you need to actually add an option with loop, and you should set it to true. Now, if you go to the last slide, which is new feature of Windows, you can see the slides start again and it doesn't go back. So you can just move the slide forever and you never get to the end. Some people prefer their slide to be a loop. If you make it false, when you get to the last slide, it's over. Now the slide goes to the first, as you can see. I usually let the loop to be true. And I mean, it's an option that you can, this is an option that the developer makes, so it's not a big deal. Now let's go for the responsive part of the project, which is actually one of the most important parts. For the matter of being responsive, we use breakpoint, and well, before we write codes inside breakpoint, let's find out how small should the screen be if we want to reduce the number of slides. And for this matter, let's go to our Google Chrome and let's right click and inspect. At the left bottom, we have this responsive icon. And if I make my screen smaller, you can see, I think 1332 is enough. Now, what I need to do is 1330, and then slides per view should be 3, and a space between, we're going to put 30. Now, all right, but after 1330, we're going to say up to 824, slides per view should be 2, and space between should be again 30. Now, if it's smaller than 1330, until 820, it's going to be 2 slides, as you can see. But now, after that, again, we have 3 slides, so we're going to have to specify what should the slider do after 824. So we say until 1 pixel, which is actually impossible to have a device on screen of, I don't know, 50 pixels. It doesn't matter. We don't have a device with 50 pixel screen. So we say 1 slide, and it doesn't matter the slides per view, the space between. So now we have 1 slide. That's it. So as you can see, above 1330, 3 slides, to 824, 2 slides, and under that, we have just 1 slide. So our project is mobile responsive.